So hey guys, welcome to another Warframe video, and today we're finally going to take a look at Tower 1 and Tower 2 keys. Now Tower 1 and Tower 2 keys are comparatively easy to get when you look at Tower 3 and Tower 4 keys, because there's plenty of missions and mission types that will reward you with tons of them all the time. And since there is so many different missions and mission types where you can farm Tower 1 and Tower 2 keys, I decided to cut out missions that I feel are not worth it, because the time you have to spend there in order to get a void key is just not comparable to the other missions. So while you can definitely get void keys from survival or defense missions, it's just not worth it when you compare it to the other ones, because in defense missions the chances of getting a void key are pretty low, and it also takes a lot of time to go through the waves, and in survival you are guaranteed to get a void key, but you have to wait 15 minutes for the first one and then 20 minutes for additional ones. However, this excludes the Orokin Daralect, and I will talk about why later. So let's start off with Tower 1 keys. Now, the missions that I would personally recommend for farming void keys, because I use them myself and I had great success with them, are low-level excavation missions, and there are 3 of them. There is Lua on Earth, which is a Grenier excavation mission, Tikal on Earth, which is an infested excavation mission, and E-Gate on Venus, which is a Corpus excavation mission. And here, void keys come as a reward on rotation B, which is excavator number 3, 7, 11, 15, and so on. And you will always get a random Tower 1 key as a reward on this rotation, because there are no Tower 2, 3, or 4 keys. It is also incredibly fast to do a full rotation in excavation, especially if you have a party and you can run more than one excavator at a time. And as a little cherry on top, these missions are also very low level and are really easy to do. So even if you go in alone with a decently modded frame and weapon, you'll be able to do sort of 10 to 20 excavators. Now, if you're a big fan of excavations and you want to excavate for Tower 2 keys, there is only really one mission to do, and that is Malva on Venus, which is an infested excavation. And void keys on Malva come once again as a reward on rotation B. However, as you can see in the top right corner, this also drops Tower 3 keys, but that's not the worst thing in the world, because on Malva, Tower 2 keys have approximately 13% chance to be rewarded, and Tower 3 keys only have 4% chance to be rewarded, so most of the time you will get a Tower 2 key. Now, in the beginning, I talked about excluding defense and survival missions from this video, with the exception of Orokin Daralect. And that's because Orokin Daralect is pretty good for farming void keys. If you run Orokin Daralect defense on rotation A, which are waves 5 and 10, you can get Tower 1 capture, Tower 1 defense, Tower 1 survival, Tower 1 mobile defense, and Tower 1 exterminate. And on rotation C, which is 20 waves, you can get Tower 2 mobile defense, Tower 2 capture, Tower 2 exterminate, Tower 2 defense, and Tower 2 survival. So Orokin Daralect defense is pretty damn good, because you have a chance of getting a void key after 5, 10, and 20 waves. And then there is Orokin Daralect survival, which on rotation A, which is the reward you get after 5, 10, 25, 30 minutes and so on, has a chance to reward you with Tower 1 exterminate and Tower 1 mobile defense. On rotation B, which is 15 minutes, 35 minutes, and so on, you will have a chance to get Tower 1 capture, Tower 1 defense, Tower 1 exterminate, and Tower 1 mobile defense. And if that's not enough, on rotation C, which is the reward you get after 20, 40, 60 minutes, and so on, you have a chance to get Tower 2 capture, Tower 2 mobile defense, and Tower 2 exterminate. Now, the selection of keys isn't very big, but if you're looking for some of them and you like running survival, go to Orokin Daralect. And now we move on to the final mission type, and that is spy missions. Now, there is a ton of spy missions you can do. So first of all, if you want to get Tower 2 capture, Tower 2 defense, Tower 2 exterminate, and Tower 2 survival with a chance of getting Tower 4 sabotage, you can do Aegon on Saturn, Umbriel on Uranus, Rosalind on Uranus, Tikoloshe or Skyla on Sedna, Armaros and Valak on Europa, or Grildrig and Shkovsky on Phobos. Now, there is one important thing to note here, and that's that you are only gonna get a void key if you do all 3 of the vaults. And believe it or not, even I, a person who is terrible in spy missions, can do these in about 5 or 6 minutes, which is pretty much the same amount of time you will spend in excavations to get a rotation B reward. And I have a friend who can run these in about 3 to 4 minutes, so he can actually get void keys faster by doing spy missions than by excavating. But these aren't all the spy missions you can do. You can also do Sao or Laomedia on Neptune, Oceanium on Pluto, Lex or Hapke on Ceres, and Seath or Nathos on Eris. However, in these missions, you have Tower 2 capture, mobile defense, exterminate, survival, defense, and sabotage, with an 11% chance to be rewarded per key, and Tower 3 Capture, Mobile Defense, Exterminate, Survival, Defense, and Sabotage with approximately 5% chance to be rewarded. So most of the time, you're gonna get Tower 2 keys, but every now and then you will get Tower 3 keys. Now the reason why I'm even talking about these, because obviously the previous ones are better, is because Void keys come as a reward on rotation B, which is the second vault. So what you can do here is finish the first 2 vaults, then trigger the alarms on the third one and sprint to the extraction, which means you can do these much faster. So if your preferred mission type is Spy and you're pretty good at it and you're not going to screw it up all the time, you can run these instead of Excavations or Rogue Indirect Defense or Survival. And that is pretty much it for the video, so I hope it was helpful. I thank you very much for watching as always, and I will see you next time. Bye bye.